If your cocktails don't taste right, it might not be the alcohol, it could be your glass. Hey y'all, it's Tanya, and I'm breaking down something most people overlook, but every home bartender needs to know. The glass you use can completely change how your drink tastes, smells, and even how fast it gets watered down. So if you've ever wondered why martinis look fancy, why margaritas hit different, or why your home cocktails just don't taste like the bar, this video is about to change the game for you. For the real ones. For the real ones. I got something to
Pretty Timmy and T, yeah, we raising the bar. Every sip's an adventure, we shooting for stars. Cut those wheels, take the scene, now we gliding in style. From the vineyards to the lounge, we redefining the mile. 4092 the base, where the legends reside. Mixing vibes, not just drinks, it's the culture we provide. Tuesday libations, Wednesday we scrutinize. Catch the flavor, feel the energy, we on the rise. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Yeah. Have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real.
So why does your glassware matter? It comes down to three things: temperature, aroma, everything starts with your nose, and dilution. The shape of the glass controls how your drink hits your nose, how fast it warms up, and even how the ice melts. So yes, your glass is going to do way more than just looking cute. So let's start off with the first one, the martini glass. This wide V-shaped glass is designed for drinks with no ice. That long stem keeps your hands from warming the drink, and that open top, it lets the aroma hit you immediately. Perfect for spirit-forward cocktails like martinis and Manhattans. This is all about sipping, not chugging. Now, there is another version of your martini glass. Same thing. It's open, wide mouth. Only thing is, this has a stem, this one does not, but it does have a base for you to hold. And so some martini glasses are the big tall ones, and some are the little short ones. They pretty much do the same thing. If you notice, it's just the way the top is shaped. As long as they're shaped the same, they provide the same thing. Now, this one has a stem, but this one you have to watch how you hold it. You have to hold it at the base. And then that way you're not holding it like this, because all that does is warm up your cocktail. And since this has no ice, you wouldn't want to warm it up. You want to make sure that you keep it chilled. And most of the time with drinks like this, you want to keep the glasses chilled before you even prepare your cocktail. So let's now move over to the highball. So let's look at your highball glasses. And I actually have two here. And so usually highball glasses are usually tall and slim, okay? And they're made for drinks with mixers most of the time, okay? Think rum and coke, gin and tonic, okay? The height keeps the carbonation longer, the whole purpose of it being long. And the narrow shape slows down dilution, okay? So basically your drink stays fizzy and refreshing. Now, a low ball glass, not to be confused with a rock glass. Some people assume that they're the same, but they're not the same, okay? These highballs, this a low ball, and then here goes another version of a low ball. And then you have your rock glass, just because usually a rock glass is usually crystal, okay? But basically the whole purpose of these are for different types of drinks. The tall ones is for carbonated drinks, okay? However, your rock glass, or should I say your low balls, though they're usually short, sturdy, and built for ice heavy drinks, okay? Old fashions, whiskey on the rocks, This glass is all about controlled dilution. As the ice melts, it slowly opens up the flavors. Okay, so basically, most old fashions you're gonna see in this traditional crystal rock glass, or you may even see it in the lowball glass. It basically is the same height, same width. It's just that this one is just a smooth version. This one has the crystal type glass, and this one is just a double tiered low ball glass. Same thing, but basically you want to put a big piece of ice in here, and you want to make sure that the actual flavors and aromas of your drink open up. So highball glass, carbonated, minimal dilution, lowball glass, controlled dilution, okay, and not carbonated. All right. Now let's get into. Let me put these back up here. Now let's get into our coupe glass, and I love the coupe glass. A coupe glass, for some reason, everything tastes better coming out of a coupe glass. Some are just shaped like this. This one is a little more squarish. Most coupe glasses are a little more round, look like a little, halfway bowl, basically. And it is one of my personal favorites. Okay, it's actually elegant, rounded or squared, and less spill prone than a martini glass. Perfect for shaking cocktails like daiquiris, espresso martinis. It's the same vibe as a martini glass, just more practical. But however, I really like the shape of this glass. They're very easy to break though. Maybe it's just because of the type of crystal that I have, but if you get just a regular heavy duty glass, then it's probably be more durable. But this coupe is actually one of my favorites. I actually like coupe glass. Now let's get into the margarita glass. Yes, the dramatic one. Yes, this big mouth, heavy duty glass that has the drink that everyone around the world likes to drink. So I know most of you say, well, why the wide rim, right? Well, it's perfect for salt, sugar, and the bowl shape helps balance strong citrus and tequila flavors. Let's be honest though, this one is also about presentation, okay? Because you get your margarita, you put your salt or your sugar around the rim, put your margarita in there, and you could put your garnishes on there, and it's just supposed to present just lovely because it's just going to make you want to get another margarita, right? So got to have a margarita glass in your neighborhood. So let's look at our wine glass. Yes, and sometimes we use wine glasses for cocktails, right? So let me show you the different types of wine glasses that we have here. So here I have a couple of wine glasses. And I know you're wondering, well, they all look different. Yes, because they hold different types of wine and for different reasons. So when we're talking about your wine glasses basically, some of them may be a large bowl. It's because it gives you more oxygen. More oxygen gives you a stronger aroma. That's why cocktails like spritzes are usually served in the wine glass. It makes the drink feel lighter and more refreshing. But also, let me explain the other glasses. Now, this would be a wide bowl mouth that we would use for a spritz, okay? But you can also use it for red wine or anything that requires more oxygenation, more like your red wines, okay? This one here is like your regular, it's not too bold, but it's enough for you to still swirl. It's still a wide mouth, a little bowl at the bottom, may not be as wide as this one. This one's more cocktail, this one is more wine. And then you get into your champagne flutes. That's what we call these. They're still wine glasses, but they're champagne flutes. So this one here, if you notice, you have your stem and it's more narrow and it goes up, similar to like your highball. So remember what we said about your highball glass. What's the reason for the highball glass? Put it in the comments. It's for carbonation. So guess what? Isn't that what champagne does? It has bubbles. So what it does is it allows the carbonation to last longer. So here's your flute. They're usually very narrow. It actually looks like a highball glass with a stem, right? Pretty much that's what it is. And these are the other two versions similar. This is one that's stemless. This is a version of a highball, except it starts out wide at the bottom and slims as you go towards the nose. It basically, if you look at it, it looks like it just doesn't have a leg on it, right? And then this one is just a more fancy one. This has like a very thick crystal base, but this is also a champagne flute, and as you can see, is very narrow as well, except this one is thinner at the bottom and opens up wider at the top. But it actually gives the same effect as the other champagne flute. So these are your champagne glasses. Now let's get into some of the other glasses that, most people may not talk about as much or even notice. But we're going to talk about it today. So let's talk about your snifter. This snifter, this is basically a cognac glass. Why is it short? Why is it bold? And why is the stem so little? Well, because with cognac is better room temperature or warm. Some people drink cognac and they also smoke their cigars. But as they sip, the reason the stem is small is because it's supposed to fit in your hand just like this. Fits right in your hand just like this. Why? Because the palm of your hand is to help warm your cognac. So you hold it, you actually hold this glass, and the heat from your hand warms up your actual cognac. And some people warm up their cognac. Some people like their cognac warm. But this is cognac, and if you notice, it's a bowl. You do swirl because you would like the aroma, so that's why you have it more bowl at the bottom and funnel towards the top. So this is the reason why your snifter is basically shaped this way. It's because it's meant to be held like this. Okay. Now let's get into some of your other glasses that some people don't talk about. This is a stemless wine glass as well, similar to here, just like I showed you with the champagne flute. This is a stemless wine glass, but this is also a cocktail glass. You can actually put cocktails that have ice in it. You put it in here because that way you can hold the glass like this and drink it. Or most of the time, if you use this, I usually like red. Usually white wines, you want to try to keep it chilled, so you really want to use a stem. Red wine, you can do stem or stemless. And you can just hold your glass, and you can just use this as a cocktail glass as well. Okay. Another glass that most of you may see, especially with those who watch my channel and you see us tasting different liquors, bourbons, whiskeys, tequilas, and so forth, it's the Glencairn glass. A Glencairn glass, if you notice how it's shaped, is actually shaped similar to the snifter because it's wide at the bottom, but if you notice, it narrows up to the top. Looks like a neck. And the whole purpose of that is so you can swirl your liquor in the bottom, and then the aroma funnels up through the top to go directly to your nose when you actually smell it. So just so you know, this is the whole purpose of this Glencairn glass, the shape of it. You may see this Glencairn in different sizes. You may see it a little bigger, but they still come very close to your nose, where it's no bigger than the size of your nose. You should be able to stick your nose here to get the full aroma of what you're about to sip. So this is a Glencairn glass, also known as a tasting glass. Okay, there's other tasting glass. Some have stems to them, as well as others like tequila. Some tequilas are usually tasted in it's a shorter version of a glass like this. Usually the stem is about half But the shape of it is, and it may not be this long, it may be halfway, but it'll be shaped similar to like the Glencairn, where it's a little wide at the bottom, but then it narrows a little more at the top. And you'll see those who usually at tequila tastings, you'll see those types of glasses. Then you have the infamous shot glasses. Speaking of tequila, our infamous shot glasses. So we have our shot glasses here. Of course, these hold different ounces. A shot in the United States is 2 ounces. Some places will tell you 1.75. They cheating you out of 0.25 ounces. But anyway, 2 ounces. So this glass here is a 2 ounce shot glass here. This one is a 2 ounce as well. It's just tall and thin. This one is short and wide. And this one holds a little more. So this isn't really a shot glass. You can also use this as a tasting glass. It's just a miniature version of it. But this actually holds 4 ounces of liquid in this. So, but there's various types of shot glasses. They all look different. Some shot glasses may only come in 1 ounce shots. 1 ounce, 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces is usually what you get. So these are there. And I just wanted to give an honorable mention to the mule, the copper cup. And that copper cup is copper because what does metal do? It holds the temperature. So usually mules are served in this type of cup because it actually holds the cold of the actual cocktail. And usually you got your ginger beer and your lime and your vodka and so forth, and you make your mules. And there's different types of mules, but this copper pot, I call it a copper pot type mug, is basically to hold it and keep it nice and refreshing while you're drinking it. So basically some final takeaways for you. If you want your cocktails to taste better without changing the recipe, first change the glass, because the right glass doesn't just hold your drink. Okay, it actually elevates it. So just remember that. Okay. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And please make sure that, you know what? I need you to be honest with me. In the comments, drop it in the comments. What glass have you been using wrong all this time? If you just come on, tell a sister. Just go and put it in the comments and let me know. Okay. However, I will see you on the next video. If you actually like cocktails and want to see glasses used with cocktails, hey, visit any video on my channel. As a matter of fact, look at this one and it'll show you a whole playlist full of them. Join my Tuesday Libations. On Tuesday, we are live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. where we make cocktails from spirits from all around the world, local and international. So without further ado, you all have a good evening. And in the words of my husband, Timmy, don't be trash, live your best life.